Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to celebrate the recent birthday of one of my very favorite artists of all time, the great Steve Winwood. Now, as the tale goes, and we've all heard it before, but I'll tell it again briefly, Steve Winwood burst onto the scene with the Spencer Davis Group in what was sort of a blues rock, sort of more heavy on the rock sort of combo. He achieved a lot of success. Gimme Some Lovin' is one of the most performed and licensed songs ever, and he had a lot of great ones too. He did the ballad Together Till the End of Time. He did I'm a Man, later covered by Chicago. But Steve Winwood was always someone who wanted to take music into different directions. He was never someone comfortable with the pop charts, and because of that, he joined Steve Capaldi and for a while Dave Mason, and they formed Traffic, which, while Capaldi was the spiritual leader of the band back from the drum seat, Steve Winwood was the undeniable frontman, whether playing organ, piano, or guitar, and of course, singing with that great voice. Now, Traffic was truly a collective effort, and I would say that he and Capaldi were the core of the band. Chris Wood, wonderful Winwood player, also very important. Dave Mason really moved on to do his own thing, and he did great stuff shortly after the beginning. But Winwood's voice and his attitude and the whole idea of Traffic, there was something very pure about it. It was the opposite of your typical pop band. They could jam and they could improvise, but they had great melodies and great songwriting and wonderful, wonderful on-stage performance. You could argue that they were a band that was even better live than in studio because they could really pull anything off. Now, after Traffic's second demise in around 74, Steve Winwood did a lot of interesting stuff with others, including the great Japanese musician Stomo Yatsuma, or Yamashita, rather, pardon the pronunciation, who did his Go project that people like Al Di Meola were involved in, Michael Shreve from Santana, and of course Steve Winwood. His solo stuff was big, and by the late 80s, he accidentally found himself back onto the pop charts with the Back in the High Life album. But undeterred, he continued making music his own way and still does. He's still active, playing with Eric Clapton a lot. They, of course, collaborated on the one off Blind Faith album at the end of the 60s, along with Ginger Baker and Rick Gretsch. Really successful. Just one of the truly great musicians, and someone who's achieved success in the pop world despite the fact that he was much more comfortable, sort of one or two steps away from that limelight. But the limelight found him because talent does, in some cases, rise to the top, and it certainly did in the case of Steve Winwood. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.